and I had to pose a couple questions. I wanted to ask a couple questions. A couple questions like for instance, right? For one, who out there is also satanic? That's the question I have to ask. Not only who out there that's watching is also satanic, and I say that for a lot of reasons, but for one of the reasons I say it is because, in no disrespect at all, it's just you go on these cryptid channels and you get in these cryptid communities and you notice a very large trend. A, well, I wouldn't call it a trend. That's a dumb word to call it. You notice that many, you notice the occurrence. That's a better word. You notice the occurrence that there's a lot of Christian people that watch these things. You notice that the conclusions they come to are very Bible based. They always fall on Genesis 6, I think it's Genesis 6:6. It's like, oh my god. Every time I hear Genesis 6:6, like I get it. I get it. I get the logic. But Jesus Christ, it's always Genesis 6:6. It's always about the Nephilim. It's always goes into that into that territory every time. Every time. So what I'm really trying to say is this. I'm trying to say, like, I know everybody for the most part always talks about being the good guys all the time. They always want to be the good guys. People want to talk about, and don't get me wrong, it's not like demeaning or trying to be in a disrespectful way, because I get there are different type of people in this world. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has their own way of doing things. Everyone has their own place. There's a balance in this world. There's balance. But on the same coin, there's differences. And I kind of wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, some of us around here are very gory. Some of us around here, like myself, are real warriors. We're martial artists. We're not the type of guys who, how do I say this, who don't like violence to some degree. You know what I mean? Like, to some degree, we do sit back and admire, like, some aspects of violence and some aspects of, people talk about, like, animal attacks, cryptid attacks, riots, attacks. There's people use a lot of words, terroristic. People use, but then some of us, we sit back and we're like, okay, I get it, but I also get the beauty in it. I see the negative in it, I see the bad in it, and I know what to stay away from. But I do see the beauty in some of this violence. Okay, so you can't just be all good. That's the thing. You can't be all good. Sometimes you got to be a little bit sinister. You know what I mean? You can't just be 100% goody goody about everything all the time. And sometimes you have to look at, like, there's a necessity and a necessary part of things that are dark or things that are violent. And that's one of the reasons why I even became a Satanist, because it just fit into my mold already. You know what I mean? I always looked at things from like a very educational way. Like I always like to look at something from a very trained, very practical, very like educational in realistic way, And then I started thinking of things and I'm thinking, well, I think a big part of Satanism, and this isn't going to be like a rant just strictly on Satanism. I'm only saying this because Satanism Satanism can kind of tie into the world of the paranormal. It actually really can. It can really tie into the world of cryptids, the world of cryptozoology. It can, because everything is connected. You know what I mean? So, but it's it's a lot of the darker aspects of nature in itself, in a very darker aspect, in a very warlike aspect of existence. It's kind of like a lot of I'm not saying this is Satanism in a nutshell, but what I'm saying is a Satanist can appreciate the concept of, like, for instance, you walk with a big stick. Doesn't mean you're gonna always have to use it or whatever, but it's that you understand the necessity of it and you understand the practicality and the reality of it. So it's like you understand the um the practicality of training for skirmishes. You understand the practicality of training for self-defense. You understand the practicality of not only being armed, but knowing how to use the weapons that you're armed with. You know what I'm saying? Even if that's in a ritualistic fashion, like if it's like, for instance, if it's not like physical, which most of the time it would be physical, it would be. But what I'm saying is, it's just like if you're trying to destroy someone, like a destruction ritual or a hex or something. It's like, okay, I have these tools, I'm training to use them, and now I'm going to use them in a very destructive, violent manner, right? So the one thing that what I'm really trying to say about this whole thing is, you hear things from, like, Christians. Hear all this talk about, like, oh, the Nephilim, uh Genesis, Genesis 6:6. You hear talk about, the fallen angels. Oh, in the last days. This is from, like, the Christian religion. In the last days, it's going to be like it was in those days. Blah 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 blah. You even hear people say some things that almost sound absurd, sort of absurd, kind of, I guess. That they are making it sound as if these supposed Nephilim or fallen angels themselves are going to return at some point, and then they're going to want to either interbreed with women again, human women again, or they want to. And this is what this is what I mean about the hugest divide and the hugest difference between a person like myself. I'm thinking, how is anything wrong with that? Like, for instance, the only thing scary to me about that is the fact that I know I could not compete in any physical way, mentally, physically, anyway, in any shape or form, with a fallen angel in terms of a woman, which basically means if I had a wife, that mother effer, excuse my French, would steal my wife. And I know there's nothing I could do about it. It would just be over. It would be like it was described in Genesis. Like, these angels coming down like big bullies, um, bullying anybody they wanted, taking anything they wanted by force, and doing anything they wanted, and no one could do anything about it. So that's terrifying, obviously. Like, but other than that, for humanity's sake, how could that be anything bad? That's like I always say, that's like getting a DNA upgrade, which means you're getting some type of godlike DNA introduced into our gene pool, if you will, again, and then the humans that would come out of that would be superhuman. So how is that a bad thing? And that's almost like telling someone that if they had That's like saying you had a cure for cancer or something, or you can make someone walk that was in a wheelchair. Like you wouldn't want that person to have that. That's really what you're really saying. But see, you don't know that, and that's one of the biggest divides that with between us and Christians is that we understand that all this so-called demonic, all this so-called dark stuff, all this genetic stuff, we understand that that's what the world could always utilize for its better. You know what I mean? Or we understand that things like that, that's evolution. That is just an evolutionary cycle. It's nothing bad about it. You know what I mean? It's actually the good. It's the best thing that could ever happen. You know what I mean? Could you imagine people being born that literally had abilities that were unfathomable, like physically, mentally, their intellect? Could you imagine that? If that, it's kind of like, okay, well, you know, life goes on. You know what I mean? Things change. That's just like how we used to use horses and buggies, and now we have cars, right? Things happen. Things change. The world evolves. But the thing about Christianity is Christianity teaches that it's always a negative outcome. It's only all it is it's a lie. It's just lies to suit a narrative because they have a narrative. Okay, they always have a narrative, right? They always have a narrative, just like anyone else does. So it's a narrative. It's a agenda. You know, they're trying to make you believe in actuality that everything is negative. Any influence that is not God sent or Christian, if it's not pretty and it's not unwarlike and it's not violent and it's not dark, I mean, yeah, well, if it's not all those things, then it's somewhat leaning towards a positive, you know? And there's a lot of imagery that goes, and I'm going to talk about that too. That's really what I want to talk about is this whole image thing, you know, image, how you look, like image to them. Image is a thing, you know, and it always will be. I at least think with them. So, you know, they want to believe, and this ties into the the cryptid rant. Like this kind of, I guess you could call this another rake rant because a lot of times when I talk about us as human beings, I use the rake because the rake is so similar to humans that it's an uncanny similarity. So it just seems to be easy to use examples with that cryptid, with that cryptid of other ones. Um, so basically, what I'm trying to say is like you have this so-called crawler person, right? This pale crawler rake flushgate. You have this thing, right? You have this crawler person or these crawler people, and the thing is that you know no one. Well, I'm not gonna say no one, but a lot of people don't think like this. A lot of people don't stop to think like how would there be like how do you not know that there'd be a serious benefit if we were to interbreed with that race? You know what I'm saying? Like how do you not even know? I'm not just talking about like aesthetics, like how someone would look, because I'm sure that there could be a very attractive actually something could actually happen very well where an offspring may be very attractive. You know, you got to think like a hollow cheeked pale beauty person that's just like chalk white, like literally it's white as a friggin' piece of chalk, with human features, maybe some features from those things, a very tall person that's that pale. I mean, you got at some point it could potentially be something that is very attractive. It doesn't even have to be something that's like so frightening or so this or that. Like you gotta really think. Like you really don't understand how something is going to be until it's born. You know what I mean? Until it's starting to grow and like you don't know. You know what I mean? Like this off offspring or child or something, it may look slightly like those things, but it may look human enough. What I'm trying to say is it may look human enough and be a very attractive person at the same time. It may also have abilities that a person doesn't have. You know what I mean? So it may be just pluses all across the board. But see, you don't know that. You wouldn't know. None of us really would know that. You know what I mean? But this is my point. I've talked about this before, and we all know that we all know that this type of thing has already happened. We already know that scenario has already played out and already has happened more than just once. There's no doubt about it that there's hybrid creatures that are how do I say this? A combination of something that was intermingled with a person, whether it was done like in a lab or whether it was done the old-fashioned way, if you get what I'm saying. Either way, it's happened. We already know this. Other cultures that have like folklore and myths and stuff, tribes and stuff, they already talked about this because it's already happened. It's always been happening. But the thing is, like I'll say again. See, it comes down to mentality. It doesn't matter like how we dress, how we look, what we tend to believe in. We all have a mentality, and there's a distinct difference with certain mentality. It's like the mentality of you're afraid to intermingle with this. You're afraid to give this a chance. You're afraid to ever even imagine this or that. So you think there's just no positives that could come out of this type of thing. And then you have guys like me who are of a straight up vicious, to a degree, just be real, brutal, draconian type of mentality about how, the strong live, the weak die. Be strong, persevere. Things should mean something to you. Try to do things that mean things to you, that you feel has a sense of honor behind it, and fulfillment. You know what I mean? Worry about yourself. Be fulfilled. Try to enjoy your life, almost by any means necessary. I hate to say it, but I'll keep it real. I would say you don't want to wind up in jail, but look, if you have to risk going to jail to get things you want in life, go straight for it. But the thing is, the whole point is, don't be a little pussy about it. Don't be a soggy wet noodle about it. No, like I said, you have to go in hard, brave, and strong, and put everything you have into something to come out the victor on top. That's how the mentality is. And if someone is like lacking, or they're too weak, or they're too this or too that, or you figure like you can't even find a good reason why they should be around, then absolutely smash them, destroy them, kick them to the curb, and that's the end of that, right? That's the mentality, you know what I mean? And also, you start, like I said, about these, even down to these creatures and things, you start looking around to things that can make you're like, what could make not only me stronger, but what could make generations actually stronger and more powerful, you know what I mean? More dominant, more on top of things, more cutting edge, you know what I mean? More intelligent, all that stuff, right? You start thinking like, well, what's really important? Isn't it important that we are like, hallelujah, Jesus freaks? Or is it more important that we are upright walking citizens walking down the block with shoes on, getting, I don't know, soda from the store or something? Or is it more important that we think like, you know what? If we were to intermingle with this race or that other race or whatever, wouldn't it be like an upgrade to our DNA? That's how I think. I think that like, and I'm also going to talk, I wasn't going to talk on this at first, but now I am going to speak on this, about how, you get these people who are like, I don't know what to call them, or if I'm even saying it right or whatever, but you get white-centric people, you get black-centric, all these Afro-centric, Asian-centric, their own race-centric. It's like, they're so stuck on their own race that, okay, this is, I know what I'm trying, how I'm trying to really articulate this. They are so stuck on their own races that they would dare call, like, I'll give you an example. I saw this video, right? And I have to comment on this, but I didn't want to, but I'm gonna have to comment. I'm commenting on it. So I seen this video. It was of this white, of all people. I'm kind of laughing because it's the irony in the comedic aspects of this whole thing. So you get a white woman, right? This is what's so funny. I'll say it again. You get a white woman, right? It's like you get a light skinned, probably mixed race woman. You get a dark skinned black man like myself, and they have a kid, and they notice that she's probably going to be like on the darker side. And they notice that her eyes are going to be dark, and you could clearly tell that they don't really like that. Not like they like don't like it of the fact of like like real racism, like oh that's a like what real racism looks like. No, it's just preference. It's just like they don't want their child to look a certain way. They'd rather have her look another way because that's what they think is more attractive. Everyone has beauty standards, what they think is attractive. Like for instance, I'll give you an example, right? Okay, like whether a female was white or black, would I date a girl who had just like ugly looks, like her face is jacked up, her body's jacked up, she doesn't have any attributes or assets that I'm into, she doesn't have the curve, she doesn't have the ass busting out the jeans, she doesn't have the hips, she doesn't, you know what I mean? Like she's just this flat as a board, fat stored in all the wrong places, shoulders looking like a man, got like a ugly face. You know what I mean? Why would I like what? You so is it okay if she's white? Is it racist? Is it colorism? No. If she's black, is it colorism that I'm not attracted to her? No. Maybe I just don't like certain things. It's just like, for instance, if I want to choose a girl who has, let's say, darker eyes over a girl with lighter eyes, how is that? It's not colorism. It's preference. That's what I'm really trying. It's like you guys. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. And I ranted about this before about you crybaby bitches, because that's what you are. You're crybaby ass bitches. In which you don't. It's like you're so. This is really. I'm gonna keep it real. You're so self conscious about certain physical characteristics that your race has that if anyone is not attracted to it, or if they, let's say, they won't say, okay, my kid, I don't want my kid to have those features, you asshole crybaby bitches claim that something is colorism. Colorism, bro. You want to know what real colorism looks like? Colorism, or that type of racism, is some shit like in India where it's like a guy will be literally because he's a little bit of shades darker in every capacity, like, eyes, hair, whatever, hair, skin, everything is darker. Doesn't even mean that his phenotype or bone structure, facially or bodily, resembles anything of a more African look. No, it's just that he could have the darkest shades all over, and he'll be looked at as like lesser than or this or that because of that, and then the guy who could have the same exact phenotype, same dimensions, because he is like very pale and very fair, that man would be of much higher value. He'd get jobs, better jobs. That's the real colorism, you dumbasses. It's not like just someone not liking a thing about themselves, like because they just think it's not as attractive as they would like it. You motherfuckers are so stupid. I'd be willing to say that you don't know your asshole from your mouth, as that's how dumb you are. Just saying. That might sound harsh, but I'm just saying. That's how stupid you actually really are. Sadly, it's sad, but you're really that dumb. You're dumb. Not only are you dumb, but you're crybaby bitches. And your emotions are out of control. Way out of control. To the point to where you've made so many lies that you believe those lies. You actually believe that someone is on some colorism or some shit or some racism because they want a certain thing. So enough of that. But what I was saying before about like how I love the whole dark aspects of dark ritual Satanism, swords, weapons, blood, guts, pain, arousal, just the dark. It's just dark. You know what I mean? Demonic activity. You know what I mean? Fiendish, sinister vibes, sinister things. I'm not into the whole light aspect of things like that. Just saying. That's just me. Just being real. I'm into the dark and the violent and the dominating force of things, not the whole self-sacrificing, fluffy, light-hearted. No, for me it's about war, blood and guts, domination, sex, taking what you want, using whatever methods you have to use to get what you want, to get the woman that you want, and then also imposing, implementing, and perpetuating that essence, if you will, or that current into future generations of people and beings. If that made any sense to you, that's what I'm about. I'm not about, and the thing is, I understand that there's balance in this world. This is not like, there's a time and place for everything. There is a time and place for everything. That's not my entire existence, but that is a very, very strong, very important part of me that's never could just die or be diminished. You know what I mean? You have to understand too, the whole essence of a warrior is that you don't just so easily ever turn over with anything. You know what I mean? It's very difficult for you to just. It depends on for what reason. You don't just just give into anything. I'll use an example of how you have these people who I think they're called. I forget the name, but there's some people in India that basically there was a time in India where I believe the British were forcing people to give over their weapons, and you couldn't have weapons, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. And there were some people who refused to give over their weapons, and they're very proud of it. And and my hat's off to them because they should be. Those are real warriors. You know what I mean? They refused to give up their weapons. That's what I mean. That's the mentality. It's that you're gonna have to pry this from my cold, dead fucking hands before you even think that you're gonna take my fucking weapons or my rights or anything away or my respect or dignity or anything. No, I will kill you, motherfucker. That's what it is. I will literally kill you and think nothing of it. Not barely bat an eye, not lose a night of sleep because you crossed over where you never should have been. Because you thought, and this is the thing, I'm telling you some real shit and you need to listen close. It's not just that, it's also psychological. It's also making an example out of that person because now you made a point, right? This isn't making a point of politically in sissy and we want this and we're going to come together and we're going to intelligibly argue. No. This is not that shit. This is some straight up Conan shit. I'm fucking killing you by any means necessary. This is when you're on the ground after I've already knocked you out. This is me after I've already subdued you, already choked you out, already knocked you out, taking a heavy rock and smashing your head into little bits like a watermelon. That's what a warrior is. That's what a war is about. Okay? So that's the spirit that is in a warrior. That's the warrior spirit. It's not this cuddly, what's the word? Deceptive, we really want this thing, but we're acting like we want that thing. We really want to impose ourselves on people, but it's not about that shit, man. It's not about that. It's about being quiet, and then when needed, it's on. And it's over, like I said, and it's over. Watermelon, pieces on the ground. And if you read the Satanic Bible, if you actually read the Satanic Bible, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Because the funny thing about the Satanic Bible is, which I've been saying all this time, I've been saying this for a long time, the Satanic Bible holds the essence of the warrior in it. Okay, the spirit of a warrior is all throughout that. If you have any interaction with a demon of any sort, if you are into demonolatry, the Goetia, a lot of these demons, I would say 98 or 99% of demons are warriors, and they understand war. Some specialize more in it, but they have to have that spirit. It's like I said, it's a current, it's an essence. It's not something that everyone has a grasp on. Okay, this is something that is spiritual. It's not just physical. It is physical, but it's very spiritual, okay? Because like I said, it's a temperamental, everything's connected. It's a temperamental thing, it's a physical thing, it's a spiritual thing, it's a mental thing. But the essence of that is not, I hate to say it, but it is not in Christianity. It is not in Eastern religions even. It is not. It's not there. It ain't. It's just not. It's just not there. You know, you even have people who were calling themselves white witches and shit, and talking about they don't want to do anything that they don't want to do anything that how do I say this? They don't want to do anything basically that interferes with like the natural flow of the universe. I'm thinking that is not how it works, bro. I mean, hey, if you want to go about that route, that's fine. But that's your own choice. But like I said, a person like myself is the opposite of that. In fact, the Satanic Bible bashes on that type of shit. No, it's like you're going to take what you want to take within reason, but really when you know, like, okay, this is the option, shit, you're gonna take what you're gonna take. You get what I'm saying? You're gonna do what you're gonna do, and it's not. It's so far off from, like I said, from that Eastern religion type of shit. This white light shit. It's way off in the field somewhere. Okay, it's way out of there. You know what I mean? It's way off. Another thing where I'll talk about is if you listen to any like black metal, death metal, or some heavy metal, that the essence of war is in there. You know what I mean? The spirit of war, or the essence of war in combat and conflict is it's literally ingrained in there. Okay, it's in there. It just is. You know what I mean? It is what it is, man. There's a time for peace, but there's also a time for war. Just saying. It's not all peace. It never was. I'm not going to say it never will be, but you got to understand, man. You just... And this video is really for people who actually know. This is not for people really who's like, oh, you know, this is evil or this is bad, or... Because you got a lot of different type of people in this community, man. You got all types of people in the cryptid community. Like I said, you got all types of people, but the thing is, like I said, there's a distinct group of us who know and who are of, like I said, they were of a certain current. Okay, we're not just the same old what you're used to, you know. And if you were to meet me in person, you would know. Like I always tell people, so you would know in seconds if you're smart. If, like I said, if you're really kind of lame and your mind is slow, you really wouldn't pick up on anything. But if you're smart, you would know. You know what I'm saying? And if you're like me, you would vibe with that. Like I'm not saying you would be like my friend, because we, you know, like I said, we don't. Not everyone that's similar gets along. But what I'm saying is, you would recognize that we're of a certain way. You know what I mean? You would clearly recognize that. You know what I mean? You would recognize that. And the thing is, there's just a difference, you know, and there's nothing. I don't use the word wrong, because I look at it like, this world is a big place, man. It's not, I wouldn't call it wrong. It's just that there are things that are of the dark, there are things that are of the light, and there has to be balance, right? So what I'm coming at you with is, I'm basically coming at you with an option. That's all I'm really doing. I'm coming at you with an option to go to this so-called dark side. You know, I'm trying to tell you some of the benefits and some of the reasons why you just may consider going on a totally different path than you ever imagined. Like you're thinking like, oh, you know, I'm dead serious too. I'm like, some people out there are on some shit like, oh, you know, I like this cryptid shit and it's cool and, you know, it's interesting, and I may even want to go investigate, or I may even want to go on a camping trip and see if I can make contact, and, you know, I may just try to think I want to do this, and then, but you're like, you know, but that's all I want. That's as far as I want to go. You know, I'm not like on some like crazy shit. Like, I don't want to like get involved with the occult and like feel like, I really want to connect to this dark current, or I want to get involved with these demons, and I want to really like let them into me, and really I want to connect to this because I want it to be a part of me. I want to know more. I want to see what I'm missing out on. I want to ascend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to, even when I die, I want to like still be learning under these demonic kings, and I want to actually, like, if they're saying that they're the masters of this, or they run the world, or they run this or that, like, I want to really see that. So I'm gonna throw myself head first in and never look back, right? Most people are never gonna say that, or never would actually feel that way. That's what I'm trying to say. Most people would never. I'm just one of those people where that's the decision I've made. I've made that decision years ago, and I'm just on the path to somewhere. So I'm basically always in the process of ascension. All right, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that, like, you think you know the half of it. There's so much out there that you really don't. And also, like I said, it ain't always just about what you can see in the physical. It's not always just about like cryptids. When we talk about things in this world, like I said, there's a very dark. It's not all dark because there's a light side, but there is. To anyone it would seem dark. You know what I mean? There is a very scary side that most people are terrified of. I don't even really get why, because I mean, like, I can only put it to the effect of that, like, there's always two sides to something, so it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be that scary if you understand it. And then number two, if you're not being harmed, like, for instance, if your life is being bettered by the influence of something so dark, if you're like really, like, if your life is really being bettered, you know what I mean, like, you're learning things, you're growing as a person, you know what I mean, you're growing in all types of ways, like, then what's really I don't see where the really is like the fire and brimstone part of that. You get what I'm saying? That's, like I said, that's a Christian deception, a Christian lie that they feed you, where if you do this, that, or the other thing, that there's some horrible punishment that awaits you when you die. There's some pit, lake of fire that you're going to burn and you're going to suffer. It doesn't exist. It actually doesn't exist. And then second of all, these demonic kings, these demonic beings, these ancient gods, they will try. It's like they want to try to lead you into a place to where you are empowered, and they are going to try to lift you above, in fact, things that are trying to predate you. Or let's say if there is a force that is so overwhelming to where you would get caught up in that, they would try, if anything, they would try to protect you from that. They would try to empower you and try to do things. So this is what I mean. It's actually completely backwards. Like, people, what they believe is completely backwards. It's actually completely backwards. Very, very backwards. And this is what I mean. This is always the case. It's like the biggest secret in the world. It's the craziest thing. It's like, once you get a hold of the concept that it's those things that you feel is like, oh, this is violent, or this is, like, this is scary, or this is violent, literally. Like, it's like, it feels dark, it feels violent, it feels wrong. This is like some occult, this is some satanic, this is how people talk, dude. They're like, this is some satanic shit. This is some straight Satan shit. This is some devil shit right now. I can't, like, I can't do this. It's like, oh man, that's what I mean. It's like, what you're doing is you're like the little kid that put their foot in the water, and that's all you did. You stuck your toe in the water and got frightened, and then you just left. It's like, wow, so you just missed out on a lot that you could have experienced that would have helped you. But like I said, man, There's reason for everything. There's balance. And some of you people out here are dead set. Not only do you want to fuck it up for other people, but you yourselves are cowards, number one. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I don't like being disrespectful, but sometimes you gotta say things how it is. You fucking guys are fucking cowards, man. Like I said, you don't want to be pushed. That's the thing. You don't want to be pushed into these so-called uncomfortable places. So it's like you don't want to go where the power is. That's what it really is. It's kind of like it's like exercise. It's like that. It's like I said, like let's say like functional exercise. I'm not just saying like exercise like because you want to look good or whatever, because you want to try to like find a woman who values a man that actually looks good. And how do I say this? Usually a type of woman of value will not fuck around with some guy who's just any guy. So you want to strive for better because you want to attract a better type of thing. But functionally, like I said, as a warrior, functional exercise, like exercise that makes you fast, agile, strong, it's like, it's not easy. It's not easy. So it's like, if you want that power, you want those abilities, well, then you have to put the work in. It's like you can't be scared to say, "Oh, I'm gonna break my ankle. I'm gonna catch a hernia. Oh, I'm a hurt myself doing this." It just seems like a little much, or this looks weird. What are people gonna say? Or all that shit. Like I said, if you're too scared to go in, well, then you never get anything. That's how it works. Then you won't get anything, or you won't get anything of substance. Like I said, you'll be the same. I'll even use an example that's not even like so serious or so. Like for instance, it could simply be that let's say you like playing basketball, right? And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be racist, but I'm gonna go there. You are the short-legged, long torso, gut and titty white man who with the slow feet. So, bro, you better train better than that. If you want to compete or you want to do anything on the court, your ass better work out. You better, like, seriously, because like I said, look at yourself. Look at what you are. Look at you. You don't even have the genetics there, man. You get your little short ass into what? Your little tubby, chubby ass. You get your little puffy white ass and whatever you need to do to come up to par even when you get on that court, because you want to be doing layups and crossing people up and all this shit because you like basketball or you love basketball maybe, right? But you really think this? See, you get what I'm saying? Really? It's like, really? You already know, like I said, you have to put in what you have to put in. You have to go in head first. There's no room for I'm just saying, it depends on what you want. If you really don't want nothing, then fine. But what I'm trying to say is, if you really are looking for, so like you're really searching for something, you got to go fully in. You can't be just like, like this. No, you got to go way in. You can't like hesitate. You can't bullshit. You can't procrastinate. You can't make excuses. And I also have to say about like the warrior, like I said, this society with this whole new age thing of like, it's okay to be soft, it's okay to be super feminine, it's okay to be, what's the word, deceptive, to be slimy, slinky, and to be shady with everything. Like, it's like you don't ever just want to just be open and be real about anything. You always have to be terrified to your core to ever express anything about yourself. So you have, like I said, you have double lives, closeted lives. You got dudes that are 50 years old with wives and gay as fuck. Like I said, you got straight up, like, you the gayest, you the fucking gayest thing that ever literally walked the fucking earth. And then you're on some shit about your wife or your kids, or you'll be a single fucking man talking about your son. Like, as if someone can't see straight through the fact that, like, bro, anyone could have a son, bro. Let's say if I was actually gay, if I was gay as fuck, right? If I didn't want nothing to do with any type of bitch, A bitch could literally get me drunk, ride my dick, get pregnant, and have a kid, bitch. That don't mean shit. See, what I'm trying to say is real motherfuckers see through all y'all motherfuckers bullshit. Is what I'm trying to say. A real motherfucker like myself sees through miles of walls. It doesn't matter what type of wall you try to, or what type of slick talk or whatever the fuck you try to think you're doing to be slick about anything. I'm going to see through all of that shit most likely. Usually nothing gets by me. I'm usually like a bloodhound when it comes to anything. Like I said, it comes to mentality, traits, practices, training. Don't come at me with that bullshit. Like I said, I can sometimes, man, I can spot people. They'll say the slyest little shit, or you make one wrong move, you give one wrong look, one wrong move, and I'm already on to all your bullshit. Fuck out of here, man. Fuck out of here with that shit, man. But the thing is, this world almost like pats shit on the back. Like if you're on some shady, closeted type of shit with anything, oh, it's okay because it's all about your feelings. It's all about your feelings. If you feel it, that's what it is. I mean, like, the problem with that is this. There's a couple problems with that. Now, I will say this: your life is your own, so you can do what you want. This world is not, it's we all live in it. But look, what I'm trying to say is this: on the same coin, not everybody's gonna go for that shit, let alone play along with that shit either. You get what I'm trying to say? Like I said before, I don't care if I call myself, I'm a red sports car. My name is Gerald, which it's not. But let's just say I'm saying my name is Gerald. I'm a red sports car. I am both Stretch Armstrong and Polly Pocket. If I say that shit, I could say that until I'm blue in the face. It's not reality. It's not real. It doesn't matter what the fuck I say. It's not real. And then also, if I say some dumb shit like that, no one has to buy into it, or no one has to play along with those fucking stupid games. Okay? No one has to play along with those games, man. And if you're mad, I always say, like, if you're mad, either fucking you could knuckle up or shut the fuck up, right? Because that's the world we actually live in. This is what I mean. The world we live in is physical. It's not your feelings. It's not fucking your rhetoric. It's not your fucking religion. What it's gonna really come down to is what you are actually capable of. Your belief system is, you know what I'm saying? Like, your belief system is part of it, but what you're actually capable of in this world is what is gonna be an outcome, right? Fuck your fucking feelings, man. God damn. Like, don't you wish that I could transform into the handsomest, well, I mean, don't I wish? I wish that I could transform into the handsomest man alive right now, sprout literal fucking angel or bat wings, and fly over to fucking, like, Hawaii, find the hottest bitch that I could find, and take her back here and make her my wife, and then fly her literally, fly her over to another country the next day. You know what I mean? If that's a fucking fantasy. No one's sprouting wings, we're not flying anywhere, right? Just because I hate the fact that I'm poor, or I hate the fact that I was born to be a certain person to where I'm not the most super attractive man. It's like women are not just throwing themselves at me and I have to work to accomplish things in this world. Like, for instance, if I have to want to go out and think that I'm going to find myself a fucking wife, there's things I have to do, right? Like, I can't, it's not just like, oh, well, I'm Mickey Mouse, right? Like, let's say I'm Mickey Mouse with a 10-inch cock. Just it could be anything. I'm Mickey Mouse with a fucking 10-inch cock in a million bucks, and I choose you. No, that's not it. That's not how it fucking works. It doesn't work like that. Okay? It just doesn't work like that. Just saying, in case you didn't know. So, you get my point, right? My point is that this shit that they're trying to feed down your throat is bullshit, man. Bullshit. You gotta find balance, man. if you don't take anything I said from this rant, take this. Take that you need to find balance. There's a time where you need to be peaceful. There's a time where you need to fight and pick and choose which battle you fight. There's a time where you need to listen to someone else's opinion. There's a time where you need to realize you know what your gut says, you know it's true, and there's no fucking around right now, and this is game time, and this is, you gotta let motherfuckers know, and you have to do what you gotta do. There's a time where you have to be as quiet as a church mouse, let shit roll off your back. There's a time and place for everything, but you have to find balance. But you know what you need to really do, though? What you need to do is you need to learn how to distinguish when there's just straight up bullshit right in front of you. And I'm just telling you, that a lot of common, so-called common knowledge and common thought is a whole load of bullshit, man. A whole load of bullshit. All this fear-mongering shit, like, oh, this is scary, and what would happen if this, and it's all bullshit. I'm telling you, it is all bullshit, man. And I hate to say it, but the thing is, we would learn really quick. If we got put in the right situation, we would learn really fast what's bullshit, what's not. Like, if we were put in a situation where, oh, you think you don't have any spirituality, right? You're going to get some spirituality. I'm telling you, you're going to get some spirituality fast and start believing in something when you get put in the right environment. When you get put around the right beings, you get put in the right environment where you have to rely on something bigger than yourself or believe in something bigger than yourself for your own well-being and survival. That's when you're going to, I'm telling you, man, some of you people already know, so I don't really have to tell you, but what I'm saying is, even us as a whole civilization, there's going to have to come a time, inevitably, to where either you're going to fucking have to believe in something, or it's so going to be in your face to where you don't need to have to believe in it. It's just what life is. Because life can change as we know it, right? You got to understand, we're adults now, but there's another generation that's going to have to be born. We're not going to live forever. The future are the children. So the world that they're brought into, they're going to be thinking that this was bullshit, what we're talking about. Like what we're trying to debate about and all this shit. So I'm just saying, man, you got to have balance, and you can't, don't believe this hype, man. And from my perspective, I'm always going to lead you in the direction like that I'm of. So it is what it is, man. Nothing's wrong with that. Fuck it. That's what everybody else does. So like I said, I'm going to leave you with a choice. I always say this, I'm going to leave you with a choice, right? And some thoughts. I'm going to tell you that challenge yourself to not be so scared of these dark things, this even the current behind it. Don't be afraid of this whole Rake current or this Dogman current, or no, you have to vibe with it. You have to understand that it's a part of you as well. That existence is just as valid and just as much a part of your existence, our civilized existence. That wild, scary part, those creatures are just as much a part of us as we are a part of any other part of this existence. And you got to realize that they're just another people too. You have to realize that, like, you may even be able to connect, like I said before. I said this in another rant talking about how you may even be able to connect with their sort of frequency. Like, you may even be able to connect yourself with them in a certain way, and it may not be a negative experience either. Even your life experience may not be negative when you go down a so-called dark path when it comes to these things, right? You'll develop an appreciation for them. You'll develop a sense of respect and a sense of honor for them. You're not gonna most likely develop a fear. It's like the fear is what's probably already there. You'll develop a sense of how do I say this? a sense of wonder. Like you'll develop a curiosity to learn more, but that's what it should be. You know what I mean? And then you also will have to develop a sense to know when something really is bad. It has no good intentions for you, and you need to get out of there. You know what I mean? Like people, like I always say, people come. I've seen all types of people in my life, and I've seen all types of bullshit. I've seen good things, bad things, and all types of bullshit. People can come at me with any type of fucking smile, any type of jibber jabber nonsense, any fucking thing, and like I said, most of the percentage of the time, it's some straight bullshit. Especially if it's a man, because I'm telling you, like I said, with men, I'm gonna keep it real, man. And I'm not on some shit like some of these feminists out here that say, "Oh, toxic." No, it's not that masculinity is toxic. It's not. No, it's just that men. I'll be real. Men in general usually are always on shady shit. It's like a man wants to do some shit, like he wants to take your bitch. You know what I'm saying? He wants to steal your girl. He wants to take your bitch. He wants to think that him and his friends are gonna run in your spot when you're not home and take your PS5, right? He's fruity as fuck. And he tries to act like he's straight or act like he's this and act this and that way. But that motherfucker really just wants to see if you're on some fucking gay shit. So he just wants to see, are you like him? Are you on some gay closet shit? You know? He wants nothing to do but balls. I said this before in a rant. He's all about balls, dicks, and booty holes, regardless of what order, how that goes. That's that motherfucker's all about. And now it's okay if you're into that shit. So if that's the case, you and him probably could fucking be buddies or some shit. But if not, you need to get the fuck up out of there fast. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're on some shit like you're writing a documentary, you're writing a documentary about that lifestyle or some shit, you probably want to get the fuck up out of there. You know, I mean, like, unless it's to the point to where you realize this person, let's say they're just not really, like, they're not trying to really have an agenda or a goal with you. That's fine. You know what I mean? Maybe they're just talking. But like I said, usually us as men, 98% of the time, us as men always have some type of angle. We always are trying to get something. So it's always like, you know, is this a good thing or is this a bad thing? What are you really, what is these people or persons really trying to get? You know what I mean? And you have to distinguish. You have to distinguish that shit. You have to really try to distinguish or read what's really the real crux of this. Like, what is it really, man? What is it really? You know, like I was earlier because I talked about this before about how like I envisioned like things playing out almost like it's playing out as a show or a skit sometimes, and it's just really funny. So I was thinking today, like, you know, you got like these men who are these gay ass closeted fucking men. And like, I was thinking, wouldn't it be hilarious if literally they were on some shit like they really just got to their knees and was like, I want the penis in my ass, like, and everybody just looked like, what? Whoa, did you what? Like, what did you just say, bro? What? Well, shit. I mean, at that point, I guess we would all know exactly what the fucking deal. We would know what the fuck's going on at that point, right? Fuck. I mean, I will say 98% of us would be like, no, I'm good on that, bro. Thank you. No, thank you. See ya. See ya tomorrow. Maybe not. Well, that was obvious, you know. But see, this is the thing. People aren't like that. People are shady, deceptive fucking people who always want something. 98% of time, it's something that you want nothing to do with. But see, they don't really know that. People are how they are. So what I'm saying is really what I'm trying to hint at is I'm trying to hint at you that these cryptids, these fucking creatures, these so-called these demons and stuff that we want to deal with, these satanic forces, these dark demonic forces, these demonic kings, you know, like Belial, Paimon, Vine, these type of demons I'm just being real. They usually are straight up front to what they're about. It's like they're up front. They know what they're doing. They know what they could offer you. They're letting you know what they're going to offer you. In fact, they even will tell you some shit like some real shit like, "Oh, you think you want that? Nah, I know you better than you know yourself. You don't even want that. I'm going to show you if you bear with me what you actually fucking want." That's guidance. It's not deception. I'm telling you. People, I fucking say this, and I really believe this. 98%, and listen to me when I tell you this, 98% of the time, people are more deceptive than demons even are. That's the thing. People are on some bullshit. People are on some shady shit, man. Listen when I tell you that. Really listen. Usually it's not some dark fucking thing that you're afraid of, something you really feels alien, some weird thing to you, right? That's on some shady shit trying to pull something over on you and lead you into like this horrible end that you would never want. Nah, it's people that are on some shit like that. It's the fucking guy next door. It's the fucking girl next door even. It's the fucking kids in the family down the block. It's the fucking people across the street. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Listen to me when I'm fucking telling you. Sometimes you don't even know, I'll put it like this, you don't even know the trail of bullshit that you could even get pulled into if you're dumb enough that could be completely avoided not fucking with people, man. There's a time and a place, but I mean that when I say that. Like, it's people. Someone said this before. He gets flack for shit he said before, this guy, but you know, there's a lot positive to say about this man. I believe it was E.A. Coetting that said this, and this shit is true. He said, spirits actually tell the truth more than people do. it's the honest truth. People act like, I say demons are deceptive, they want to deceive, they always want to that's a Christian narrative. That's bullshit. That's a straight up Christian fucking lie if I ever heard one. Demons want to deceive. No, they don't want to deceive. They want to teach you something. The thing is, they want to try to teach you something. People deceive more than, people lie more than any fucking creature in existence, I actually believe, man. Dogs are more honest than people. Like I said, you know what's up. A dog comes at you with its fucking wee out and tries to jump on your leg. You know what's up. You know it's time to either put your knee up and guide the dog aside, sidestep the dog, maybe jump out the way, maybe grab the dog's head a little and shove it a little out off the side. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. So, let the dog know that you're not on some Whitney, Wisconsin shit, and you're not about to get on all fours and try to do anything with this dog. But see, a person, they don't come at you like that. I mean, could you imagine? It's like a girl comes at you. If let's say you're gay, let's say you are gay and you're not into girls. A girl comes out you with her skirt halfway up to her stomach. She's trying to spread her pussy apart. She's trying to waddle towards you. You don't want no parts of that shit. Or some dude comes at you with his fruity tooty, wee hard and erect, just literally crab walking over to like fucking run for your goddamn life. You fucking run. You just run. See, people aren't like that. Instead, like I said, it's always some shit. It's always some bullshit, man. And you don't want no parts of it. Like I said, you don't want no fucking parts of it. So, listen to what the fuck I'm saying, man. Some of you people actually do listen. Most of you people are just like, hey. What I'm trying to say at the end of the day is this: regardless of what the fuck you're out here looking for, know what you're looking for first off, know what you're not looking for, and know how to avoid all the bullshit like it's a fucking plague, because it is. So, this is your host again, coming at you with vicious RIP thrust all up in your guts again. Hitting shit I ain't even supposed to hit. Busting the walls out. Your man don't know. He don't know. This is your host, Steve from the back, coming at you again and again, relentlessly with the thrusts. All day and tomorrow. Painful thrust. This isn't even fun anymore. This is going in weird territory. Is this something you wanted? I don't know. Do you want this anymore? It doesn't matter because it's going in anyway. I'm joking. See, there may come a day where you can't even make jokes like that anymore. Where people take it seriously. Just make it a joke. It's a joke. This is your host, Steve from the back. You can send in, like I said, before I've said this many times on other rants, send in your gutter stories. I'm tired of saying it. I'm not even going to say the email. I'm going to link it either in the description or just watch another fucking video. But you can send in your stories to be read to this channel and I'll read them. Okay? That's simple, man. Listen to what I'm saying. Think on it. And, I'm wishing you actually good luck on your journey, man. I'm wishing you good luck, man. This is not like an evil thing. This channel, just because it's satanic, does not mean that it is to do bad things. No, this is to try to help you. This is like, I'm like that bug in your ear that's telling you what someone's not telling you. Someone's telling you some bullshit. I know you got someone in your ear telling you some bullshit. They're like, no, just let that slide. No, just trust these people. No, just do this. Everybody does this. They're going to think you're this. I'm telling you, take the other path. Take the path that is so difficult for you that literally you feel like you're going to lose friends because you're trying to do something in your gut is something you should be doing, but you know that it may not be as easy as you would think. So, this is your host again, Steve from the back, and have a nice day.